Dricus du Plessis is stepping into his highly anticipated rematch with Sean Strickland with one goal in mind: to rewrite the wrong and leave absolutely no doubt this time. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. For him, this fight isn't just another title defense, it's personal. He acknowledged that Strickland's history of 8 split decisions means that close fights are nothing new for him, but DDP firmly believes their last encounter should have never gone to a split decision in the first place. While some fans and analysts argued that Strickland edged him out, du Plessis has no interest in entertaining that debate any longer. He's determined to put an end to any questions about who the better fighter is. According to du Plessis, the only reason this rematch is happening is because of the controversial nature of their previous fight. If it had been a clear-cut victory, they wouldn't even be here discussing it, but now that the opportunity has arrived, he's embracing it with full force. He's not just looking to win, he's looking to dominate, to make sure there's no need for scorecards or post-fight debates. In his eyes, Strickland may be the second best middleweight in the world, but there's a wide gap between number 1 and number 2. Despite the tension surrounding this fight, du Plessis isn't bitter about the past decision. He's not dwelling on it, he's using it as fuel. The critics, the doubters, the ones who questioned whether he truly deserved to walk away victorious last time, they're all about to get their answer. This time there will be no debate, no controversy, and no doubts. Dricus du Plessis is stepping into the cage not just to defend his legacy, but to make an undeniable statement.
You know, if you play the odds like Strickland and having 8 split decisions in your career, you know, a split decision is what you call a coin flip. If you flip that coin 8 times, you're bound. That fight, the split decision was the biggest shock to me. I don't think it was a split decision. It was the biggest shock of that whole thing. But it was a great fight. It was a war. You know, if you play the odds like Strickland and having 8 split decisions in your career, you know, a split decision is what you call a coin flip. If you flip that coin 8 times, you're bound to get unlucky a couple of times. You know, he got lucky with the split decision, otherwise we wouldn't be here now. I am very happy that they made this fight. I was asking for this fight up until the Hamzat thing happened, then I would have preferred that fight, but I'm really happy this fight's happening because now I can go and say, we're going to settle this. We're going to put this to bed because, you know, all the Strickland fans that believe he won that fight.
Sean Strickland, known for his relentless aggression and no-nonsense attitude, recently found himself on the receiving end of a brutal knockout during an intense sparring session. This wild exchange was revealed in an interview with UFC middleweight Dennis Tuliulin, who shared some eye-opening stories about Strickland's mentality both inside and outside the gym. According to Tuliulin, Strickland was going toe-to-toe with Russian fighter Maxim Gishin in a sparring war that quickly turned into an all-out brawl. Both men were throwing bombs, neither willing to back down, and at any moment either fighter could have been put to sleep. And then it happened. Strickland got caught, a massive shot landed clean, and just like that he was out, dropped hard onto the canvas. But if you think Strickland stayed down, you don't know him well enough. Within seconds he was back on his feet, furious and fired up, shouting in frustration. It wasn't just about getting knocked down, it was about proving that no one gets the best of him without paying the price. Without hesitation, Strickland charged right back at Gishin, determined to get his revenge. It was a moment that perfectly captured the mindset of a fighter like Strickland. He doesn't break, he doesn't sulk, he just gets back up and fights even harder. That wasn't the only insight Tuliulin had to offer. He also revealed that his first ever interaction with Strickland wasn't exactly friendly. In fact, it started with some tension after Strickland made an offhand remark about Tuliulin's home country. Instead of letting it turn into something bigger, Tuliulin confronted him directly, man to man, explaining why those kinds of comments weren't okay. To Strickland's credit, he actually listened. He didn't brush it off or double down. He took it on board. That moment of honesty and respect laid the foundation for what would become a solid friendship between the two fighters. Strickland might be known for his wild personality and controversial takes, but beneath the chaos, there's a fighter who refuses to back down from anything, whether it's a verbal confrontation or an all-out war in the gym. He gets knocked down, but he never stays down. Ilia Topuria isn't just here to be a champion, he's here to be the best fighter in the world, period. And to prove that, he has his sights set on one of the biggest challenges in the sport, a super fight with UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. For Topuria, defending his featherweight title is important, but it's not his ultimate goal. His ambitions stretch beyond just ruling one division. He wants to sit at the very top of the pound-for-pound rankings, and he believes that beating Makhachev is the fastest way to get there. This is something that I want to do. The UFC knows that, Topuria said when discussing his future, but at the end of the day, this is something the UFC decides. They know how to run the business. They have a lot of experience, so if they tell me that they want me to keep defending the belt in the featherweight division, maybe I will do that, but if they let me go up to 155, I will do that too. His confidence is undeniable, and it's clear that Topuria sees himself as a two-division champion in the making. The potential showdown between him and Makhachev would be one of the biggest fights in recent history, a battle between two dominant forces at the peak of their powers. Topuria's striking is some of the most dangerous in the UFC, with precision, power, and the kind of knockout ability that few fighters can match. Makhachev, on the other hand, has built his reign on suffocating grappling and relentless control, following in the footsteps of his mentor, Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's the classic striker versus grappler matchup, but Topuria believes he has the skills to neutralize Makhachev's strengths and impose his own game. While he waits for the UFC's decision, Topuria also addressed another key question in the featherweight division: who deserves the next shot at his title? The two frontrunners are Diego Lopes and Movsar Evloev, but in Topuria's eyes, the answer is clear. "I think Diego Lopes deserves it more," he stated. Movsar Evloev has more fights in the UFC, but he has 8 fights, 8 decisions, won by split decision. You need to finish someone, do something relevant, put yourself in that spot, and why not? We can do it. Topuria's stance makes sense. While Evloev remains undefeated, his lack of finishes has made it difficult for him to capture the public's imagination. Lopes, on the other hand, has quickly become a fan favorite, delivering exciting performances and finishing fights in spectacular fashion. But whether he defends his title against Lopes or moves up to challenge Makhachev, one thing is clear: Topuria isn't here to play it safe. He's chasing greatness, and he's willing to take on anyone to get there. So the question remains, if Ilia Topuria does get his wish and steps into the octagon against Islam Makhachev, how does that fight play out? Can Topuria's elite striking and iron will overcome the relentless pressure and wrestling of Makhachev? Or will the lightweight king prove that he is simply on another level? It's a fight that would shake up the entire landscape of the UFC, and if it happens, the world will be watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you're as intrigued by this potential clash as we are, drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking MMA news and updates. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss what's next.